Hello and welcome. My name is Chelsea Kennedy, and I am here to lead us on a short practice, allowing you to take a moment today to just breathe into your space, into your being, connecting down to the foundation beneath us, rooting down into the ground, into the core of the earth, from any place that we are connected to the earth physically. Finding length from the crown of your head to the tail of your spine, allowing yourself to breathe. Go back to this one. Breathe, making a big belly when you inhale, pulling your belly button to your spine as you exhale, rolling the shoulders on the back. Ears elongated away from the shoulders without cranking your shoulders on the back. As I like to do like this. Now I reverse breathe there. I pulled my belly in on my inhale. Many of us are reverse breathers. So taking these moments to check in and consciously choose to breathe in a way that's actually better for our body is the practice. Reaching the hands out towards the front of the mat or your space. And then walking your fingertips over to one side. Moving mindfully with your breath, rotating to the other side. With your breath returning to center. Coming up to table. Flat back. Fingertips and palms firmly planted into the earth. Toes can be tucked or flat on the mat. And imagine that you're hugging your knees together, or play with what it feels like to pull them apart, finding length and space between each vertebra and disc. Breathing in, scrubbing bubbles of oxygen in and around the base of the neck, down through each vertebra in the neck, around each disc, in and around the thoracic spine, down through our lumbar and our tail, and then tipping our belly to the ground, broadening through the shoulders, looking up slightly to the sky, moving with your breath, rounding through the shoulders, tipping the hips, looking at your belly button or your knees. Moving back and forth between the two in a way that's nourishing for you. Wiggling your tail, moving the spine in all directions. We went up and down, and we're going to go side to side. Seismic waves. Then when you're ready, pressing into your toes, having your knees bent as much or as little to allow you to really press into your fingertips and your palms, and then drop your ears between your arms. Finding length in the low back, length throughout the whole spine, and then stretching out these back leg muscles, walking our dog, pressing one heel into the mat and then the other. Coming up on tippy toes and then sinking back down. And then walking our hands to our feet to our hands, whichever works. And having your knees stay bent so you can keep your hands flat on the ground. Pressing into the earth with your hands and your feet. And then bringing one hand to above your knee and then the other with bent knees, rising up, flat back. Arms up overhead. Rolling the shoulders on the back. Light bend in the knees, rooting through the feet. Pushing down into the earth to rise up tall. And then exhale, forward fold. Let it all go. Inhale, coming up halfway, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Walking our hands forward, walking our feet back. Be in plank. Really find your foundation here even. Squeezing your glutes, pulling your core. Strengthening through the shoulders. Inhale, release. Turning the eyes of your elbows forward and then hugging your elbows to your rib cage. Come on down. Letting your feet go. And then pressing up using your glutes, your low back. Peel up off your floor or your mat. Not really pressing into your hands, but they're still firmly rooted. And look over that left shoulder. And the right shoulder. And exhale, release. Inhaling up again. Looking over the left shoulder. On the right shoulder. Exhale, release. And one more time. Inhaling it. Looking over the left shoulder. And looking over the right shoulder. And then coming onto or pulling our feet up to the sky and allowing them to windshield washer back and forth. Moving mindfully, nourishing with your breath. And pressing through your hands onto your knees, but then allowing yourself to come back into this wisdom pose. Shape, more lengthening and release in the low back. Grounding down and setting an intention, your reason or why for being here. Thanking yourself for showing up to just notice what is. Coming back to our table. We're going to lift up our right leg, heel flexed, foot flexed, pressing through that heel, finding length from crown to your foot, and then go ahead and bring that forward into a little lunge now. Knees, right? I can use my hat to give a little cushion to my knee, and then coming on up, and then inching my toes forward, coming into that nice hip stretch. Still finding length from the crown of our head to the tail of our spine. Our legs are active, so imagine that you're pulling them together both ways. Press your hands together. Shoulders on the back. Ooh, excuse me, shifts happen, right? Burps, farts, all of it. Coming on down. Pressing back up into a downward facing dog. Knees can be bent or straight. And then we're going to bring through our left foot. Stretch out our psoas muscle, the muscle that is the muscle of the soul according to yogis. And it connects the top half of our body to the lower half of our body. Gets tight from bending over, sitting, all the things, right? Trauma and stress, things that we don't want to deal with, we just shove it there. It's our junk drawer. We can release, move with conscious breath and awareness, and then returning back to our downward facing dog. And then either walking your hands to your feet or feet to your hands, or a combination of both. But then knees bent, coming up halfway, flat back, forward fold. Half forward fold, back to our full forward fold. And then inhaling, knees bent, rooting down to rise up. That is a variation of what's called a sun salutation. And what's really exciting about sun salutations is that they work our body in a way that kind of wrings us out, squishes us, and opens us. That stimulates digestion and vitality. Thank you so much for joining. Namaste.